Hello, my loves. I am so super excited to be live with you today. For those of you who are on my email list or following me here on social media, you know that there's been a lot going on for me, and wow, so much. And because of what's been going on in my world, I've always prided myself on having a deep, deep level of inner peace. And of course, with everything that's been going on, I've been finding out that there's an even deeper level of inner peace that I could have had, that I can have, that I am now starting to embody. And so I wanted to come on and first of all update everybody on what we're at, where we're at, what's happening, how I am, find out how you are, most importantly, and also for anybody who is here live to give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you have for your own self around becoming, I don't want to say the word, but it's just the best way to express it. So becoming unfuckwithable, becoming someone who doesn't get triggered around anything in their life and also in the greater world arena as well. Because as I said, with what's been going on in my world, I've found myself once again having to be around people that I don't spend a lot of time with, family members that, I'm very careful about who I share my time and my energy and my frequency and my, boundaries with. And because of the situation that I'm going through with my family at the moment, my very large family, I've been put in front of things that trigger me. And so I have, as I said, learnt this next level of truly becoming unshakable in your inner peace so that no one and nothing can trigger you back into your childhood, back into your traumas, any of those sorts of things. And also around what's happening in the world as well, because the inner is also the outer. So there's no difference between inner peace and being able to hold your frequency and be peaceful when faced with the dramatic things that are happening in the world as we speak. So hello, Anara, lovely to see you. It's always beautiful to see you. I miss seeing all of my Super Self Academy members as often as I used to and being in touch with them. But I was following my guidance, and my guidance was telling me it was time to wind things up because there was something else coming, and there certainly has been something else that came, as you know. So thank you for joining me. If you are here live, I would love for you to just put a hello in the comments, or you can certainly type the word live. Let me know that you are here live, and remember that I am going to do a Q&A a little later once we talk about inner peace a little bit, and maybe there'll be something triggered within you and we can have a question about that and receive some guidance around that if you wish to. And of course, if you are on the replay, I'd love for you to do #replay. That will just alert me that you've commented and I'll know that you've watched it. And also, if you have any questions, I'll see that you have those questions there as well, and I can, for as long as I feel to do so, I will of course respond to any comments on this post. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to say hello. I love to know who's here. Love to catch up with each and every one of you. And so I want to just very quickly say, before we go too much further, for anybody watching live or on the replay who is not familiar with me, I'm Aleckson, and I am the voice channel of all that is. and we create transformation through the vibrational frequency of the spoken word. So if you're here with me now, you're here for a reason. And as I speak and as I share with you and answer any questions that you have, if I choose to do so, you will get what you need from this live stream. Whatever you come here with a question about, you will receive an answer to, whether you ask a question or not. That's how it works in the world of frequency and vibration. So welcome, thank you for joining me. If you want to know anything about me and the work that I do with all that is, you are most welcome to ask those questions as well. But for today's conversation, we're going to talk about becoming unfuckwithable, or someone who has such strong boundaries and strong frequency of inner peace that nothing and no one can take you off that frequency. And why is that important, right? Well, it's holiday season, isn't it? Which means that, much like I have been in the last couple of months, you might find yourself thrown into the mix of all of your old family triggers, all of the people in your life that you avoid for most of the year or don't spend as much time with for most of the year. And then we come to this time, November, December, January, holidays and family get-togethers and parties and things, and you find yourself once again in the mix with those people who, you know, something that's true is that if you grow up with a bunch of people, like your brothers and sisters, for instance, or a parent, they always remember you as the child that you were. They always remember you as the child that you were. And if you, perchance, happen to be someone like me who has completely and utterly transformed internally through inner work, through shadow work, through awakening and finding your own spirituality, and have just completely transformed your entire beingness, then when you walk into those rooms with your family members, with your brothers and sisters, with your parents, with your aunts and uncles, with people you grew up with, they always will see you as the person they knew you as back then. And so, I don't know about you, but I have sisters. We grew up together, we fought, we were jealous of each other, we didn't like each other. You know, we went through the whole gamut of that stuff that you do. I know it's not just me. I mean, this is just how families are, right? So with what's been going on with me, so I'm currently, this is the office within my mother's home, because I'm currently staying with her and looking after her. She's been going through a cancer journey, and she needs more help than ever before. So I, being someone who has a bit more flexibility in my work life, I made the decision that I would come and live with her for as long as I need to, until the next phase of what's happening. So, you know, obviously I've had to be around my brothers and sisters, around people and behaviours that that I thought I'd dealt with, that I absolutely have dealt with, and yet there's been another layer revealed. I've been triggered. I've been triggered up the wazoo. I've been triggered a lot around a lot of different things and around different people, which then led me to make a decision, because I can't not make this decision, right? Because I'm on a path of continual growth and have been for well over a decade or more. I'm on this path of continual growth, and I invite growth all the time. In fact, it's one of the things that I ask for every single morning. One of the things that I choose every single morning as part of my morning process that I do. I choose to continually be growing. So of course I invite these triggers in, and what I've been doing is doing the inner work, doing the work that I do and that I teach other people to do and that I do with other people to help them become unfuckwithable or become completely full of inner peace so that they cannot be triggered and moved off their beautiful high vibrating self or frequency. Karen, hello, it's so lovely, lovely, lovely to see you, and please do not be sorry to hear, because everything is perfect, everything is going as it should, according to the universe or God or source or whatever, and it's been an interesting journey of being triggered through these experiences so that I can become more. And that's all I ever want, is to just continually become more, become more, become more. Become more of what? Well, become more of who I truly am. Become more of who I am and who I came here to be. And that's not different than who you are and who you came here to be, right? I'm not any different than you. We're one. We are one. We truly, truly are. And the more of these things that I go through and the more I release these inner triggers, the more I step into that. And so at the end of doing the inner work and recognizing the triggers that I'm having and where they've come from and why I thought I'd got rid of them, but they're still here to some degree, recognizing that the reason I'm right here in this home office of my mum, looking after her, having my son going through his cancer journey at the exact same time, the last 2 weeks, particularly having him go through a number of operations that just kept seeming to be, not helping. But he is home now, and he is at home with his wife and his 2 little boys, and he's improving, and I'm just so blessed and grateful to have him at home and recovering. And interestingly enough, he was blonde when he went into hospital, or he was blonde before he started his cancer treatments, and he's now got dark hair. So that's something that we're all having a little laugh about, because he was the handsome blonde boy. Now he's, of course, the handsome dark-haired boy. But anyway, he's in recovery. So I recognize now, as I start to do more of the inner work so that I can really step into full power as a creator self, as you are, full power as a physical manifestation of God or of source, as you are as well, right? The more we let go of these triggers at the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level, because it's just a matter of levels, the more we release them, the more we face them and hold our own with them. It's not about destroying them, because that's not what we're here. This is not about destroying your triggers, but simply knowing your triggers, recognizing them, allowing them to be present, and not having to act on them. So becoming peaceful around them, right? Which is what we're all talking about here. What we're talking about here is having such a deep level of inner peace that nothing and no one triggers you out of your high flying frequency. So I think I said everything that I wanted to say there about that. Yeah, doing the inner work. So this is the work that I teach other people to do. It's the work that I obviously do for myself first, because if you've been around me for any length of time, you will know that my driving force, my driving purpose, my driving mission is world peace through inner peace, one person at a time, and it starts with me. So I'm always doing this work for me first. But as I said, I do it with other people. I help other people to do it. I teach them how to do it. So if that's something that you want some help with, please just message me. Let me know what's going on, or share in the comments, let me know what's going on, and let's see if we can help you. Now, I'm talking specifically right now about personal triggers within your personal world, but this is also about triggers around what's going on in the larger world, in the earth world. So much going on. We've had the virusy thingy. I'm trying to think of ways to say it that don't trigger the algorithms. So we've had that happen. We've had the needle thing to fix that. We won't go into that at all because there's just so much around all of those things. But here's the thing that I recognised right at the beginning of all of this in 2019, before it all really started. Astrologically, we all knew there was something big about to happen. Energetically, if you're like me and so many of my friends, of which you are, then you will have known energetically, you would have felt that there was something huge about to happen. We didn't necessarily know what it was, but we knew that there was something. And it triggered a lot of people. And how perfect was that? I mean, if I'm honest with you, this is the way I like to think about it. We, you and I, and many thousands of people around the world have been asking for the world to be different. We've been dissatisfied with this world, and a proportion of us have been focusing on what it is that we want for the future, instead of wallowing in the way we were feeling and our triggers. We're focusing on what we want for the future. But look, this is not just a recent thing, but it's been happening for 50, 80, 100 years. People wanting better for the world. I mean, that's really what we came here to do, right? To change the world, to make the world better than it is, to make the world more compassionate and more loving, more Christ-like energy, a Christed consciousness on this planet. That's what we all came here to partake in and to participate in. And so when all of these world events started happening, and other world events before this, but you know, this particular big one that's been happening for a couple of years now, and then continuing on with other things that are triggering so many of us, we asked for it. And since we are such incredible fucking creative beings, we got what we asked for. We truly got what we asked for. Now, that's not to say be careful what you ask for. It's simply to say we wanted the world to change. We asked for the world to change. Unfortunately, what often will happen, because we don't believe that it can be easy, what happens is that everything that is current has to fall apart, has to be broken down energetically, and also everything energetically is made manifest into the world. So the breakdown has to happen. It's exactly the same of what happens to you personally, internally, when you get triggered. You have to learn to sit with it as it breaks down, sit with it as you break down, and then become peaceful around the trigger or the thing that's happening. And then I like to say, because this is shadow work, right? This is shadow work. So when we think of shadow, we think of it being kind of a grey energy, or at least that's what I see when I look at people. I see the spots of grey energy where the shadows are being held in place by unfelt emotions. And so what happens is when we sit with our shadow and allow it to be seen, it releases that grey energy look about it, and it becomes white and light. White as in clear light, like a light within you. So every time you release a shadow by by accepting it instead of trying to change it and chase it away, every time you accept a shadow and sit with it and allow it to do what it wants to do, because it does want to be released. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Every time you release a shadow, that space that it was taking up gets filled up with light, the light of your beingness, the light of who you truly are, the light of Christ consciousness, if you will. I don't normally use that expression, but for some reason I'm using that today. And so I know that there's someone who's watching now or will be watching who needs to hear that expression of Christ consciousness, because we are the physical manifestation of Christ consciousness, and we've been pretending that we aren't. We've been pretending that we are the physical manifestation of the shadow. So every time you clear these shadows, every time you clear a trigger, you are replacing that space energetically within your physical form with the light of your beingness. And that is a beautiful thing. And guess what happens then? I'm really going on a tangent here, and I don't know why, but hey, I never know why. I never know why anything happens. I never know why I'm doing anything. I know that I'll find out at some point, and that's this situation I'm in right now. I knew that there was something I needed to be here for. And I didn't know at the time about the illnesses that were hitting my family and things like that, but I knew that I was emptying a space to fill it with this role that I'm now in, so that I could do this greater level of inner work. Following your intuition is so, so, so important. So, what I want to share around what I was about to say a moment ago, and nearly forgot what I was going to say, but it's super important, so it came back to me. Every time you release a shadow and you allow that space within you to be filled with the light of your beingness, you truly step into being the lighthouse. You know, that's an expression that lots of people use, but for me, when I'm working with a client and I'm watching them on Zoom or live, mostly I do it on Zoom, I see them literally light up. I see the light starting to be around them a lot stronger and a lot stronger. And do you know what else happens? Because I'm a channel, so I normally am channeling all that is, or galaxy, the feminine, the masculine and then the feminine. But as we release these shadows, I see your star family step in. Usually off to the left of me, I see your star family step in, because, and they will often say, and they maybe said this to you if we've done sessions together, we've been waiting for you, and they express that they can now see your light. They seeded us a very, very long time ago, just for this moment in time. And they've been waiting for us to shine our light so that they can locate us. And on top of that, you're not just shining your light, but with every trigger that you release, you're cleaning out the antenna that connects you to higher levels of consciousness within yourself, but also from where you come from, wherever that might be, whatever you believe that to be, because whatever you believe is true, right? So that's the importance of doing the inner work and becoming the embodiment of inner peace, because you also become the embodiment of your lightness or your enlightened self, which calls forward all of these levels of higher consciousness, whether they're separate beings or whether you know them as just simply other aspects of you in other time, space dimensions. But you connect into those parts of you and you unfurl, unwrap your spiritual gifts and abilities, your higher consciousness mind, so that you can truly, again, as I say, be able to step into the new world that we're creating with more ease and grace. So, wow, that's kind of gone everywhere. This discussion has kind of gone everywhere today. So if you're watching, if you're still here with me, thank you. I hope that you've gained something from what I've shared. And of course, if you're here live and you have any questions about anything that I just said, you're most welcome to ask them. My sister has taken my mum to go and watch a movie. So today's the day that I get to do things for myself once a week. Often more, often more because I have many brothers and sisters that help out. But so they've gone to the movies, so I've got time. So make use of the time. I am an elite voice channel. I'm an embodied voice channel. All that is with me all the time. There is no separation anymore from all that is. And so any questions that you ask and that I answer will be coming from your own soul, your higher self, your guides and my guides, and everything else, because we are all that is. And so if you have a question, please ask the question. We don't have a lot of people on live because I didn't schedule or anything. But if you're here on the replay, make sure that you do #replay. And you're most welcome to ask a question on the replay. I will come back to you and respond. I can't guarantee when at this point. So much going on, right? But for this moment right now, I have time. So if anybody has a question, just pop it in the comments and let me know. I do hope I'm seeing all the comments. Quite often when you're doing a Facebook Live, quite often I don't see all the questions. If you're watching and you can't, I'm not responding to any comments that you're making. If you're making comments, then make sure that you just click and make the video as big as it can and then find the comments section and just pop it in again if you need to. I'm going to assume that there is nobody here who wants to ask me any questions. And I'd love to stay with you for a little bit longer. Joey, hello. It's been so long. It's so lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm not sure if you've been here for the whole conversation that we've had. But if you have any questions, let me know. If not, watch the replay just to see what's going on. We've been talking about becoming unfuckwithable, or becoming someone who holds such a high frequency of inner peace that no one and nothing can trigger you out of that level of inner peace. And when I say no one or nothing, I'm talking about specifically today about the holidays that are coming up and how we often have to spend time with people that we don't normally spend time with. And the fact that most people only ever see us as we were when we were younger, or as we were when we knew them. So they don't know who we are now. And so many of us have, like myself, have completely transformed through our awakening, become completely different people. So you can be triggered walking into a room full of people who see you as someone you were in the past. And, if you are like myself, and I know all of you guys are also on this awakening journey and this constant self-improvement, constant releasing of lower energies and things like that, then the holiday season can be a little bit hard. So I wanted to, just encourage you to do the inner work. And if you need help with that, encourage you to talk to me, because I really am very gifted at helping people with these sorts of things, if I do say so myself, although I'm sure a number of people who are here with us live would agree with me. Hi, Linda, it's so good to see you. Oh, Michelle, hello. Oh, yes, Michelle, absolutely. A lot of triggers and shadow have been brought up to look at this year. And, I was talking a moment ago about we asked for this. with every fibre of our being. Every part of us that knows that we're here to create change has been asking since the day we were born for the world to be different, for the world to be kinder, for the world to have more compassion, and all of these sorts of things, for the world to be peaceful. And so we're getting what we asked for. And in order to get what we asked for, everything that currently exists has to be broken down, personally and also out in the world. So magnificent bloody creators that we are, we've created all of this in order to be invited, I'm trying to put it nicely, be invited to look at our own selves and our triggers and deal with them, because as we deal with them, we no longer need to see them out there in the world. We no longer need to see people controlling us because we no longer can be controlled. We no longer need to have disease because we no longer need disease to create transformation within us and all of these sorts of things. So yes, yes, yes. I was talking about the last 3 years or so and how we created this to trigger ourselves. We created this to trigger ourselves into our change maker mode. We created this to trigger ourselves into Christ consciousness, if that's what you want to call it. So I absolutely 100% agree with that. There's lots of triggers and shadows being brought up. And Anara, I'm just reading your question. I know you rarely ask a question, and I appreciate that about you. You're just such a beautiful being. As I was talking about triggers and family, what's the energy you get around? Oops, I've lost it. Oh gosh, everything keeps moving. What's the energy you get around my siblings? It's been distant since Mum's estate has been settled. I was the executor. So yes, of course. So they were all beautifully triggered by you, right? Here's the thing that I've learned, and this has taken this experience that I'm going through with my mum and being her carer, while also my adult son has been going through his journey with bowel cancer and the operations, and just specifically the last 2 to 3 weeks where he had that hospital, one operation which turned into 3 operations, and it was, whew, I thought I was going to lose him. But my point is to say that I was pretty unshakable in my inner peace, you know. But this has shown me new levels of it, and although I was very proud of the fact that I embody this sense of inner peace and help others to feel it in situations, even, you know, just where peace is needed, whether they know it or not. It was very humbling for me to realise that there's new levels of it, always new levels of it, and it's always about me. It's got nothing to do with anyone or anything out there. It's always to do with me. You know, I was ranting and raving to myself about a particular member of my family that I have since I was born. There's been this issue of competitiveness and jealousy and these sorts of things, particularly through our teenage years and our boarding school journey and all of these sorts of things. And it's always, for me, it's always been about her behaving in certain ways. And it was very humbling for me last week to actually, in my meditation, have this next level understanding that it had nothing to do with her, absolutely nothing to do with her. And that me doing my inner work, me healing within me whatever it was that I needed to heal around that, had nothing to do with whether she then was nicer to me, because she's not, right? And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I think what I'm trying to say is that the only thing to do and the thing to do in any situation where you are having thoughts that someone is doing something to you, or that someone's not happy with you, or that someone's judging you, all of these sorts of things. And I'm not saying that that's what it is for you. I feel jealousy there, by the way, just so you know, Anara. There's a level of you were loved more, which is total BS, right? This is what I'm talking about with my family member as well, right? So it actually was nothing to do with her and whether she thinks that I was treated better than her or anything at all like that. It was actually to do with me and what I thought about me around that situation. So it's always that. And so I don't know if I've answered your question, okay? But what I'm saying to you is this: you are the point of perception through which all of that out there is created. So what's your perception? What's the perception that you're having? And what are you making it mean about you and about them? And really there's no them, so what are you making it mean about you? And then sitting with that, accepting it, recognizing it, realizing it, and then laughing in the face of it. Really, that's what I feel here, is you having this moment of, oh, ha ha ha, that's so silly, you know, which is what happened for me, of course, when I recognized that actually I'm the point of perception through which all of this is being created. Where am I judging myself? Where am I feeling shame? Where am I feeling jealous? Where am I thinking that I'm better or less than? Right? Either one of them, it doesn't matter which. All of these sorts of things. So, and allowing yourself to sit with that and be present with it. And I mean, obviously I was going through what I'm going through at the moment. There was lots of tears coming, and that's just a way to release it, right? So I hope that answers your question. I'm not sure that it does, but at the same time I know that it does, right? Because I totally trust this moment in time and my ability to just simply stream through what needs to be heard by you or anyone else. My pleasure, Michelle. Thank you. I am glad that it was a reminder for you. And again, if anybody is watching and wants to ask a question at all, do so right now. I'll just have a sip of water. If there's no questions after that, I am going to sign off. But before I sign off, I would like to let you know that now that my son's back home and he's recovering and I'm in a steady routine with my mum, what I would like to now do is I'm going to open up an 8-week container where we meet weekly and we just do healing work. We do healing work, I do channeling, I answer questions, I give you insight. We just get together for a couple of hours every week and do that. We knock that out so that you can go into the holiday season and also go through the holiday season with support at the highest level. So if that's something that you want to learn a bit more about, find out a bit more about, just simply let me know in the comments. Oh, Joey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to read your comment and the comments keep moving, so bear with me. I'm just going to read Joey's. Cancer. Fuck cancer. That's all I can say, right? I mean, fuck it and love it at the same time, because it is such a trigger. And I'm so sorry to hear about your having to deal with loved ones and that as well, and also your first wife. Oh, it's an insidious disease, and there will come a day when it's not. And the only way to get there is for us to be loving and accepting of it. That sounds horrible. I know, I get it. But it's always exactly the same thing, right? Everything's exactly the same thing. So, throat cancer, yeah. Oh gosh. So sorry for your loss of your mother. It's Yes, it's definitely what I'm putting up with too at the moment. Yeah, yeah, we're so blessed to have this experience, aren't we? We really are. Thank you, Joey. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate your sharing what you've shared there. Anara, yes, it's always about me and the high road. See, I want to change that just a little bit, Anara, if I may, if you would allow me to. There is no high road, right? There's only you on the road that you choose to take. There's no high road because there's no low road. I hope you're hearing me there. There's no high road. If you continue to believe that you're taking the high road, there must be someone else taking the low road, and that's not the truth. The truth is that you're taking the road that you're on, right? Oh, thank you. I got goosebumps when I said that. Thank you. Fuck cancer, yes, Joey. Absolutely. I say it at least once a day, right? And then I move into accepting of it. Oh gosh, look at that. I've got a little tear escaping. Okay, so Linda, the disconnect with the insurance company. Lucky we know each other so well because I know what you're talking about, right? Beautiful. I'm just going back to your question there so that I can feel into the energy. Here's something really random, right, Linda? I just get this sense that from where you are right now and what you're asking from the insurance company and from the universe, you're limiting what you could have. You're limiting the potential or the possibility. So it feels to me like the step forward would be to start imagining what would happen if you received more than you thought you would around this. And just imagine what you would do with that extra and see if that helps move it along at all. I'm sure it will. Nara, got it. Okay, beautiful. I'm so glad. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. On that note of fuck cancer, all say it with me, fuck cancer. Um, I I actually am starting to feel really uncomfortable using the word fuck all the time because I've been using it a lot lately. And I don't know why it felt uncomfortable as I kept saying it there, but it is what it is, right? Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you're on the replay and you have a question, pop hashtag replay in the comments and I will, at some point, no guarantee of when, but at some point I will come and respond. Also, if you're watching the replay, say hello. Let me know that you watched, and let's catch up soon. Remember too that I'm opening up this 8-week container if you're interested in finding out about it and how it will serve you as we come into and as we go through the holiday period. And of course, how could it not also serve you to move into 2023? There's this huge expansive opening in 2023. I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but there is. And you want to be in the most solid, energetically peaceful place that you could possibly be to move into that. So let me know if you want to know about that. You could just type in 8 weeks in the comments or just type in that you want to know more about it. And thank you so, so much for joining me. I've missed going live. It's been months and months. This year's been very interesting for me, but I intend to do it at least once a day. I don't always get around to it, but the intention's there. And so keep an eye out. Make sure that you like my page and that you get notifications from my page, because my intention, as I said, is to come in and do a live as often as I can. It brings me joy to be in this space where I'm speaking and feeling the energy of all that is, and helping myself at the same time as helping you. So if you would indulge me and allow me to do that, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much. Big love to all of you, and I'll talk to you again soon.